Mm.
Hi dear students, how are you all today? Are you ready to learn? Do you like moon? Do you wish to go to moon? Yes, I know you all wish to go to moon. Have you heard about Chandrayaan? Chandrayaan is India's mission to moon. So you have heard about Chandrayaan. But before discussing more about moon, let us try to rewind what we have learned in our previous class. What we have learned, do you remember? Yes, we discussed about acceleration due to gravity. Can you define that? Yes, every object is being pulled by Earth's gravity. So, every object, suppose this is an object of mass m and this is our Earth. So, we said that every object is pulled down by Earth's gravitational force, and as a result the body will accelerate in the downward direction, and this acceleration A is called acceleration due to gravity. So we are replacing A with the letter G to denote the acceleration due to gravity. We also determine how to determine the value of acceleration due to gravity. We saw that G is equal to capital G into mass of Earth divided by radius of Earth. Yes, sorry, it is r square. So, this is the formula to find acceleration due to gravity. Now, do you remember? What was the value that we obtained for G? It is simple, right? We got the average value of acceleration due to gravity to be 9.8 meter per second square. Do you remember these values? Yes, you should remember this. Now we can discuss about moon. We have discussed about Earth. Now we can discuss about moon. So we know that according to universal law of gravitation, every object in the universe attract each other. So is the Earth is only having gravity? Is moon having any gravitational force? Definitely. Moon is also having a gravitational force. We call it as the moon's gravity. So instead of Earth, can I write it as here moon? Imagine that you are in the moon. Okay. So if an object of mass m is there in the moon's gravity will pull the object in the downward direction, and as a result the object will accelerate. This acceleration is due to gravity of the moon. It was not due to Earth, it is due to moon. So I am writing it as G moon. And just like how we have calculated the acceleration due to gravity of Earth, we can determine the value for acceleration due to gravity on moon using the formula G into mass of moon. Instead of Earth, I am writing mass of moon divided by r square, where r is the radius of moon. So r is the average radius of moon. Now it is your duty to determine the value of G moon. So we have determined the value of G on Earth to be 9.8 meter per second square. Likewise, it is your duty, your home assignment, to determine the value of G in moon, that is acceleration due to gravity in moon. You have to determine that value. This is a home assignment for you. And after determining the value of G, another work that you have to do is to find the value of G moon divided by G earth. So we know the value of G earth is what? It is equal to 9.8 meter per second square. Now you have to determine this value. What is this? And now you have to say by what factor the G moon is greater or lesser than G earth. You have to determine whether G moon is less than or greater than G earth, or by what factor also. This is a home assignment for you. So is this easy for you? Can you do this? Okay. So this is all about the moon. Now let us discuss another situation. Okay, you are standing at the top of a 5-story building. Where are you standing? you are standing at the top of a 5-story building and you are throwing through 2 stones. One stone of mass 50 kg and another stone of mass 5 kg. You are throwing 2 stones, or you are dropping 2 stones simultaneously. One of mass 50 kg, another of mass 5 kg. My question is that which stone will come down first? Which stone will reach the ground first? Definitely, it is the stone with more mass, that is 50 kg. The stone with 50 kg will reach the ground first, and the stone with 5 kg will reach the ground after some time. Okay, this is a quite normal situation, right? Have you ever thought about this? Why such a situation happens? Why did the stone with a mass 50 kg come down faster than the stone with a mass 5 kg? Have you ever thought about this? Let us consider another similar situation. Okay, here instead of 2 stones, you are throwing a stone. Again, you are throwing a stone and a paper sheet. A sheet of paper. You are dropping these 2 objects simultaneously. This word is very important. Simultaneously. Simultaneously means you are throwing these 2 objects at the same time. So, which object will reach the ground first? Yes, the object with more mass, that is, the stone will reach the ground first, right? And the paper will reach after some time. This is a quite normal situation. Such things happens, no? Have you ever observed such a thing in your life? Definitely, you might have observed. But our question is that why such a situation happens? Why in our daily life such a situation happened? All this has happened in open air. Okay, there is the presence of air. There is the presence of air in these conditions. Sorry, in these activities. Always there is presence of air. Have you ever thought why such a situation has happened? Yes, it was Galileo who actually thought more about this phenomenon. He thought why these objects took different time to reach the earth, and there was 2 arguments based on this. So I'm asking which object has reached the ground first. So it is the stone. So who reached the ground first? So it is definitely the stone. Reach the ground first means what? It took less time. Okay, it took less time. So our question is that why did the stone took less time while the paper took more time? This is our question. So the scientist of that time thought more about this. Can you also think about this? Why did the stone took less time and the paper took more time? So you have to derive an answer for this question. So there was 2 main arguments. I am writing those arguments here. There are 2 main arguments that was put forward, and one argument was that the stone moved with more acceleration. Stone moved with more acceleration. That is, the acceleration of the stone is more than the acceleration of the paper. Hence, the stone took less time and the stone reached the ground first. This was the first argument. They didn't say anything about air resistance or anything. Now, the second sort of argument said that the paper experienced what? More air resistance. The paper experienced more air resistance. Hence, the paper took more time to reach the ground. The stone experienced less air resistance. Hence, it took less time to reach the ground first. And they said that if there is no air resistance, what? If there is no air resistance, the acceleration of the stone will be equal to the acceleration of the paper. That is, they said that if there is no air resistance, so if there is no air resistance, what will happen? The stone and the paper will, which was thrown or which was dropped simultaneously, will reach the ground simultaneously. So this was their argument. They will reach simultaneously where there is no air. If there is no air, there will not be any friction due to air. There will not be any opposing force due to the friction of air. So in that case, that is, there is no air means what? Such a condition is called vacuum. So if there is vacuum and if we are simultaneously dropping two objects, the two objects will reach the ground simultaneously irrespective of their mass. This was their argument. And do you know who supported the second argument? So Galileo supported the second argument. He said that the paper experienced more air resistance. Hence the paper took more time to reach the ground. While the stone experienced less air resistance. Hence the stone reached the ground first. If there is no air resistance, he told that if there is no air resistance, both the stone and the paper will be moving with the same acceleration. That is, acceleration of the stone will be equal to acceleration of the paper. This was the argument put forward by who? Galileo. But he could not prove that because during that time there was no such equipment to make vacuum, to remove air. There was no such equipment to remove air. Hence he could not prove this. Later it was Sir Isaac Newton. Who did an experiment to prove this. So what did he do? Can we discuss that? So Isaac Newton did the experiment with a coin. He took a coin and a feather. What are the objects he took? He took a coin and a feather. So, and he took two kinds. He took a transparent tube. He took a transparent glass tube. It was sealed in one side, and he took this coin and this feather inside this transparent tube. Okay, and it was put upside down. And in the situation, in the first condition, he filled the tube with air. What did he do? He filled the tube with air and the two objects was placed inside the tube and the tube was kept upside down. If we keep this tube upside down, what will happen? The objects, that is our coin and the feather, will fall down, right? It will fall down, and there is lot of air here. We told he filled this with air, and can you say what was the observation that he will get? You can easily say now there is air here, so the object will definitely experience what? Air resistance. So which object will reach the bottom first? Definitely the coin with more mass will reach the bottom first. The coin reached the bottom first and later only the feather reached. The feather took more time to reach the bottom. So this was the first observation. So what was the first observation? The first observation was that when the tube was filled with air and the object was placed, we can see that the object moved with different acceleration. They moved with different acceleration and they took different time to reach the bottom. And the coin reached first and later only the feather reached. This was the first observation. Now he did the same experiment by removing air in the tube. What did he do? He removed the air in the tube. That is in the vacuum condition. He did the same experiment. He took the coin and the feather. He took the same coin and the same feather, and he put it upside down. And what will happen if we keep it upside down? The coin and the feather will fall down. Here there is no air resistance. And what observation did he get? He could see that the coin and the feather reach simultaneously at the bottom. They reach simultaneously at the bottom if this tube was made a vacuum. If there is no air, if there is no air inside the tube, he could observe that the coin and the feather reached the bottom at the same time. This was an observation that he made in the second experiment. So this is his first experiment where it was filled with air. This is a second experiment where there is no air, it is vacuum. So what inference did he make from this? He said that if there is no air resistance, in that condition, both the object will travel with the same acceleration. That is, acceleration of the coin is equal to acceleration of the feather. Hence, they reach at the same time. The time at which the coin reached the ground will be equal to the time at which the coin reached the time at which the feather reached the ground. Hence, these two objects could reach the ground simultaneously. This was the inference that he made. Here, in the presence of air, Here in the presence of air, both the objects, they will travel with different acceleration due to air resistance. Here what is there? Here there is air resistance. Air resistance. Here the feather experience more air resistance. Hence, it will take more time to reach the ground. It will move slower, where the coin experience less air resistance. As a result, it will move at a faster rate than the feather. This was the observation. This was the inference that Newton could make of this. So, what did we see here? Irrespective of the mass of the objects, if there is no air in the presence of vacuum, the objects will fall down simultaneously. The object will travel with the same acceleration. So, irrespective of the mass, we can see a situation like this. If there is no air resistance, if there is no air resistance, this is in the case of vacuum. Suppose if there is an elephant, here, and suppose if there is a cat here. So imagine that this is a cat and this is an elephant. So here my condition is that there is no air. If we are dropping these two animals together from the top of a 5-storied building, what will happen? These two will travel with the same acceleration and they will reach the ground at the same time, isn't it? They will travel with the same acceleration and they will reach the ground simultaneously. Is this possible in our daily life? Have you ever thought about this? Have you ever seen such a situation in our daily life? No, this we can't see in our daily life, because in our daily life everything we deal is in the presence of air. So we have to face what? Air resistance. We have to face air resistance. If air resistance is there, the elephant will fall down first and later only the cat will fall down, because the cat will experience more air resistance. Hence it will travel slower and as a result it will take more time to reach the ground. Is this clear to you? Okay. Suppose there is another situation. Suppose if this is a cliff. Imagine that this is a cliff, and from the top of a cliff two vehicles fell down. Okay, this one was a bus and another was a car. Okay, imagine that this is a bus and this is a car and two objects fell down. And if there is no air, which object will fall down first? Is it the bus with more mass or the car? Suppose the bus is having a mass of 1000 kg and the car is having a mass of 100 kg. Okay, which object will fall down first? No, we are saying that there is no air, it is vacuum. In that condition, both the bus and the car will fall down simultaneously. In the case if there is no vacuum, both the bus and the car will fall down simultaneously. If there is air, which object will fall down first? Definitely the bus will fall down. Only after that the car will fall down. Why is it so? Now can you explain why is it so? If there is air, the car will experience more air resistance. As a result, the car will take more time to reach the ground. Here, in the presence of air, the acceleration of the bus is more than the acceleration of the car. Okay, in the presence of air. But in the presence of air. If there is no air, what will happen? The acceleration of the bus is equal to acceleration of the car. So, do you know which is that acceleration? We have said about this in our starting of this class. What will be the acceleration of the bus and the car if they are falling freely? So, that is equal to the acceleration due to gravity. What is that equal to? It will be equal to acceleration due to gravity. So, if they are falling freely, the only acceleration that is acting on the body is acceleration due to gravity. Here, the acceleration of the bus is equal to acceleration of the car, which is equal to acceleration due to gravity. So, the bus and car will travel with the acceleration of, how much is this? 9.8 meter per second square. This acceleration does not depend on mass. How do we know that? We have derived the formula to find acceleration, which is gm divided by r square, where g is a constant, which is a gravitational constant, m is the mass of the earth, which is also a constant, r is the radius of the earth, the average radius of the earth, which is also a constant. As a result, we can say that the average value for g is also a constant, which comes to be 9.8 meter per second square. Now is it clear to you? Now can you say why the coin and the feather, where the coin is having more mass and the feather is having less mass, why did they travel with the same acceleration? Because acceleration due to gravity does not depend upon the mass of the object. What? Acceleration due to gravity g does not depend upon the mass of the object. It is always a constant. So this is what we have learned in our class. We learned about acceleration due to gravity. I have given you a home assignment to determine acceleration due to gravity in mole and to determine the value of acceleration due to gravity in mole divided by acceleration due to gravity on earth. You have to determine this factor and say how much the acceleration due to mole, whether it is greater or lesser than acceleration due to gravity on earth. Then we saw that objects with different mass in presence of vacuum, not in presence of air, in presence of vacuum, will move with same acceleration and they will reach the ground simultaneously. This is because acceleration does not depend upon the mass of the object. Is it clear to you? Okay. This is all about in this class.